Hello everybody and welcome back to SARIA'S 11 Universe. I'm Jitch. This is Raw, final Raw before Elimination Chamber. We're in Detroit and we got two title matches coming your way. It is Elimination Chamber week and we are looking to the biggest and best part of the road to WrestleMania. Comes just this Sunday at Elimination Chamber. Once that event is over, once it's all said and done, we know who's going in with the gold at WrestleMania. Then comes the fun part, 'cause we've got to find out who's going after the gold. But obviously there's a few title defenses. There's a few titles to be defended on this show and SmackDown that you'll be seeing this week. Of course, we've got the World Tag Team Championship match that's kicking off this week's Raw. The Hart Dynasty finally getting their rematch against the Celtic Cross. Whether or not they'll be able to win back those tag team titles, I don't know. Sheamus and McIntyre have proven to be a very successful team so far, but the Hart Dynasty, they've got a hell of a good chemistry about them, so neither's really likely. Okay, we're doing the solidarity thing. We're letting everyone know that the Hart Dynasty are tight as a unit. That's good. And McIntyre, I think, was expecting something a little different there. Okay. This is the first time we've seen the Hart Dynasty since dropping the World Tag Team titles almost a month ago. I guess they've probably had some time to go back to the Hart Dungeon, train, get prepared for this big match. Natalya not at ringside for them as she is preparing for her Divas Championship match at Elimination Chamber. She'll get to go one-on-one with Melina, someone she actually holds a victory over now. She'll get to go one-on-one with her for the Divas Championship at the Elimination Chamber. So the Hart Dynasty, if they have their way, they can right the wrongdoings on the week of the Royal Rumble, and they can come out of this week with the Tag Team and the Divas Championship and be the reigning supreme trio that they want to be. A song sung oh so familiarly by The Nexus before things went a little sour last week on Raw. Speaking of the Nexus, that is the other match that you can expect to see on this week's episode of Raw. The United States Championship will be on the line just before our main event. It's going to be Kane going one-on-one with Wade Barrett for the United States Championship. No word on Otunga's intentions for that match, if we'll see him or not. He's not involved in the match. It's not a triple threat match or anything. It's going to be a one-on-one US title match between the two. We have got some confirmation that the Nexus are remaining an alliance between Wade Barrett and Justin Gabriel. It's not the end for that group. They have just well, the thing is, if you remember back to an episode of Superstars or ECW, I don't remember which one it is, but there were issues between Otunga and Gabriel on that too. I'm pretty sure Otunga tried telling Gabriel to get in the corner. He was starting the match. It was just something simple like that. There'd always been an issue when it came to David Otunga and the other two members. It's just that he really decided to let Barrett have it last week on Raw. So the United States Championship, that'll be on the line between Barrett and Kane later on. We've also got, for the first time since the Royal Rumble, we're going to be seeing the Royal Rumble winner Christian in action for what might be his last Raw match before going away to SmackDown, depending on who he chooses after the Elimination Chamber. Christian's going to be in action up next as he goes one-on-one with the only member of the Elimination Chamber not currently scheduled for a big matchup. So it's going to be Christian going one-on-one with Evan Bourne, who could be Christian's WrestleMania opponent coming out of Elimination Chamber. This was really not a favorable guy to have tagged in. Sorry to say, Mr. Smith. I just don't think that Tyson Kidd is someone that should be going toe-to-toe with someone like Sheamus. Could be looking at another tough loss for the Hart Dynasty. And he just about missed. Tyson Kidd just kind of karate formed himself out of the way. Arms in the air, ready to chop. Oh, there you go.
Tyson Kidd has the headlock. What a skill set Tyson Kidd has. Great strikes.
Yeah, very nicely played move by Tyson Kidd. Really careful about making sure that Sheamus didn't get the upper hand there. Sheamus kept attempting big moves after big moves and it just wasn't quite working out for him. Obviously, Sheamus can stay in the ring for that 5 count. It's not a disqualification. I mean, it is a disqualification, sorry. It's just that it's not a tag team title loss, is what I meant to say.
And he finally gets out of the ring. Big right hand right to the chin. Tyson Kidd has the arm.
But yeah, as I was giving a rundown of the show, sorry. So we've got this tag title match. We've got Christian for the first time in action since his Royal Rumble victory, going one-on-one with Evan Bourne. We've got a US title match between Kane and Wade Barrett. And our main event of the night, we're going to be seeing DX in action for only the 2nd time ever. Hopefully you're looking to pick up their first victory, but who knows. As they go 2-on-2 with Jack Swagger and the man that absolutely dominated and destroyed Triple H last week on Raw, Batista.
It's a big fight feel here in this arena. The WWE Universe hanging on every move.
Smith is finally getting back into this. That's good.
He drops the elbow.
He could really afford to.
Smith into the headlock.
I forget, was he first DH Smith or did he become DH Smith? I think he was DH Smith, like before the Hart Dynasty, or at the very beginning of the Hart Dynasty. And then he kind of like became David Hart Smith, because obviously that's what it always stood for anyway.
And here's a cover. And now he's back out on the apron. And the count's broken.
Luckily Tyson Kidd was able to keep the Hart Dynasty alive in this one. We have another title match coming up this week on SmackDown, as we're going to be seeing the WWE Tag Team titles on the line. Both tag titles being defended on their weekly shows and not at Elimination Chamber. We're going to be seeing the likes of Chris Jericho and The Miz, the WWE Tag Team Champions, defending against Yoshitatsu, the ECW Champion, and Rob Van Dam. That should be a good one.
Sheamus appears to be admiring his work. The tag is made.
It's been such a fluid tag in, tag out strategy with the Celtic Cross. I'll tell you what, oh, hello Sale. Neither one of them is really getting hurt in this one. Say this tag team chemistry's been working well. This could be the turning point. Tyson Kidd he's bringing it to both of them. And he just kind of seemed to have fallen flat there. He didn't really know what to do. He turned McIntyre around and he kind of didn't really follow up with anything.
A nice veteran-like counter from the McIntyre.
From the McIntyre, that's right.
After all of these shots to the head, I've got
A big old flatliner.
McIntyre.
And here you go. Future Shock DDT. The undefeated Drew McIntyre looks to carry that on, but a rope break.
Championship on the line.
Once again, the tag being made. That's the thing, he's holding the tag team gold, and Drew McIntyre is actually undefeated so far.
Referee getting involved now. Oh, wow. Is that Sheamus' face, or is today Halloween?
Oh god, not the Sheamus' ugly commentary.
The Irish curse. This is a brutal Sheamus.
Oh, that time he got him. Didn't look like he was going to, but he did. And another rope break. Tell you what, Tyson Kidd, don't envy him.
Sheamus squeezing down on the head.
Let's just get this one over with, shall we?
There's the pin. Can his opponent
And Hart Smith, sorry, didn't even seem to try to get involved at the end there. I don't know if maybe he just thought he'd spare Tyson Kidd any further punishment, but he definitely didn't come running. I can't really say I'm too surprised, no disrespect to the Hart Dynasty, but this is a promising combination, this is a promising tag team. The fact that they have been able to hold on to these tag team championships for another day shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. Drew McIntyre was not ready to let that undefeated streak go. Admittedly, you know, it's only like 5-0, it's not that massive just yet, but he's already holding tag team gold. And I don't think either of these two are going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Well, we could very well be getting our WrestleMania main event for free right now.
Approaching the ring from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 183 pounds, Evan Bourne.
It's really weird to hear this song and not see the menus. Man, this song plays a lot in the menus. I almost forget it's someone's theme. Evan Bourne, former United States champion, definitely the underdog going into the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber in just 6 days' time. I would definitely call him the underdog. But he could do it. And here is the 2010 Royal Rumble winner. More importantly, the first ever Royal Rumble winner. And the man who will main event the first WrestleMania, Christian, coming on down to the ring for the first time since winning the Rumble just 4 weeks ago. Really not the outcome I think anyone had expected. But it was a great one. Everyone seemed to rejoice. Everyone seemed happy with it. But the question is, who's he going to be facing at WrestleMania? When you look at the pool of potential champions, there's 12 people that he could end up competing against. He could go up against the current reigning WWE Champion Triple H or the current reigning World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton. But he could also go up against any of the 5 participants in either of those chambers, depending on who comes out of the chambers with the championships. It could really be any man's game. But one thing that we do know for certain... Well, we don't know for certain, sorry. One thing that we do know is that we could be getting a WrestleMania preview right now between these two. This really could be the WrestleMania main event. It could be Evan Bourne versus Christian for the WWE Championship. You'd have to think if Christian can beat Evan Bourne in this one, that's going to be the guy he'd easily go for should Evan Bourne then win the championship at Elimination Chamber. He's definitely got the toughest obstacles to overcome. Evan Bourne is not a stranger to overcoming obstacles. Let's not forget that he won the United States Championship when he went up against Mark Henry. However, Mark Henry really hasn't been fit for the title World's Strongest Man for quite some time now. He's kind of been a bit of a letdown, I must confess. But the incredibly packed week of action here in this universe carries on in 3 days' time on ECW, when we've got the ECW Championship Contenders Tournament semi-finals and finals all set. From Raw, we'll be seeing Matt Hardy up against Ezekiel Jackson, and from SmackDown, we'll be seeing Shad Gaspard up against Goldust. The winner of the Raw and SmackDown matches respectively will then face off against each other in a cross-brand matchup to determine who will be the first contender for Yoshitatsu's ECW Championship. The former champion Terry Funk was given his spot in the Championship Contenders Tournament, but lost to Matt Hardy in the opening round. But this week on ECW, it's going to be a tough night of double duty for two superstars, especially the one who goes on second, because they've got to compete back-to-back matches, which is a bit of a disadvantage to whoever's from SmackDown, as I'm assuming that's the one that will come on second.
He's had several big matches throughout his career, starting back at WrestleMania 20, There's been TLC matches and Money in the
Interestingly enough, we don't see the other half of the Altitude Alliance, Kofi Kingston, in Evan Bourne's corner. It's just Bourne. Could have been some potential problems between Christian had he not returned in the fashion that he did, winning the Royal Rumble, as Kofi Kingston took Christian's place in the in the Cruiserweight Championship match, which led to Zack Ryder losing the title to Kofi Kingston. That could have been Christian, but obviously, I think he's above and beyond caring about the Cruiserweight Championship right now. With all due respect to the gold, he's got much, much bigger things in mind. It's one elbow drop that you won't forget.
What should Evan be thinking to win this? What he needs to do is pick up the pace and just use his speed to dictate the rest of this match.
Bourne seems to be taking his time to get up, and okay, Christian gonna make sure that he stays down.
What great action we've had in this match.
That was an interesting
And he's in a tough predicament.
Evan Bourne doesn't really want to look weak headed into his WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. Something like a submission. It's a bit humiliating. Losing to the Royal Rumble winner is a bit humiliating. It's not exactly saying that you've got a bright future heading into WrestleMania, but at the same time, this guy's looking to have the brightest of bright futures. I don't know how the hell he turned that one around in midair like that, but well done.
And Christian's playing some mind games now.
Getting ever so much nearer to the potential end of this matchup. Evan Bourne is really not looking favourable. Oh, little bit of fight left in him after all. How's he going now? Oh, Bourne looking to go on the ropes. Oh, that's not gonna be good. And Christian with the flying oos. I mean, the flying who? I won't know who those people are for another like 2 years. Here you go. Christian's on a roll. This is probably going to be it for Evan Bourne. No! Oh, never mind. He might have gotten that kick in, but Christian was still able to hook the arms and connect with the kill switch. And I think that might be all she wrote for Evan Bourne. Yep. Well, there you go. The 2010 Royal Rumble winner Christian picking up that little bit of momentum in what could be his final match here on Raw. There is no telling where Christian is going to be going this time next week. He will reveal who he'll be facing at WrestleMania right after Elimination Chamber. Can't wait to find out who it's going to be, what brand he'll show up on, what championship he'll pursue. But this could be a farewell to Captain Charisma here on Raw. And at least he got the finish on top after the last time we saw him on here being a horrible, horrible injury. We are back in business here on Raw for our second championship match of the night. Will Kane have the same fate as the Celtic Cross? Will he be able to keep hold of his championship gold? To my understanding, the Raw General Manager hopes not. He doesn't want the United States Championship making it around Kane's waist, as well as the WWE Championship, and he fears he can't stop Kane from winning the WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. That it may just be a given fact that you're looking at the next WWE champion. He's definitely among the most favorable inside the chamber. It seems like a place that would very much be a familiar face, a familiar place, and a comforting place for someone like Kane. So there's a lot of hopes from the GM that this man actually takes the gold. Otherwise, there's no telling how the US and the WWE title will be removed from around the shoulder of that guy right there. Justin Gabriel is not here at ringside, and there is a reason for that. He has been kept backstage to monitor what is going on, to ensure that David Otunga does not find his way out here and does not get involved with this match whatsoever. At least that's what we're told. We may see an appearance by Gabriel at some point. I wouldn't be surprised, but he's been told to monitor the back to make sure that the Nexus bring home their first piece of championship gold. So, under those orders, we do not see Justin Gabriel at ringside for this one.
Oh boy, look at the gold. This should be an outstanding match.
Kane last week suffered a 3-on-1 beatdown from the Nexus, of which he has not fully recovered, but he has been told to defend his United States Championship here or lose his spot in the Elimination Chamber and his championship. Clearly our Raw GM does not have a soft spot for Kane.
Watch out here. That elbow did some damage.
And of course, you're wondering why you're able to see Barrett take control so fast. A, he's a talented superstar anyway, but B, Kane is wearing on a lot of damage from last week's 3-on-1 match. 7 days isn't that much time to recover from having 3 guys jump you and beat the hell out of you. Yeah, Barrett got hit with a low blow by David Otunga after the match, but let's be honest with ourselves. One low blow you can recover from. Maybe not for a day, but a week? Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't forgotten, but at the same time, I'm sure he's recovered physically. Kane's really struggling to actually get involved in the match.
Emotions are running wild in what is now a very frightening situation.
This is really unusual to see Kane get so dominated.
You know, when you weigh 300 pounds, every Barrett.
Oh my god. With Kane on his shoulders.
What can Kane do to win this one, King? Well, he's got a strength advantage. Now he just needs to use it.
Well, if I were Barrett, I wouldn't feel too comfortable at the sight of that. Oh, very nice. Able to reverse his way out of it.
I just can't get over the physicality of this match. This has been brutal.
Kane's able to actually get back into the match for a second, and once again, Barrett able to reverse his way out of a chokeslam. Very impressive.
That'll cause some damage. Wade Barrett with the arm. Kane's in trouble.
Big scoop slam is able to get Barrett in control. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an involvement from David Otunga in this match, especially with the way it's going. You got to think, the reason Otunga turned his back on Barrett and the Nexus is because he wasn't helped. When he was going for the United States Championship held by that man that Barrett's now facing, Kane, he wasn't helped by the Nexus at all. Yet Barrett wants a shot at the US title, and they've all got to pitch in, they've all got to do their part. Is David Otunga really going to want to sit back and watch as Barrett becomes the US champion at the expense of David Otunga, who was a part of the trio that weakened Kane for this match that we're seeing right now? I don't think so. I think that we'll probably see an appearance from David Otunga. Kind of hoping. Definitely add to the story.
You can see their chest light up. There he goes, out of the ring.
It's just way too much confidence by Wade Barrett.
It's got to be intimidating.
Not going to stand by and let that happen. Thing is, he hit Kane with the wasteland. He could have gotten the US Championship round his waist already, but he decided to carry on. That wasn't enough.
Once again, the United States Championship is on the line. That'll do some damage. He almost took his head off with that lariat.
You're really seeing them strikes that Barrett specializes in.
Oh my, just raw, unmitigated power. Oh man.
Well, you tried.
Oh, just driving his hands into the throat. Hard shot to Barrett. You know he felt that. And there's the axe handle.
Jeez. That was surprisingly violent.
Wade Barrett is such a natural. Ooh, spine-jarring. Oh.
You know, if Kane loses the United States Championship in this match, like it's honestly looking like he's going to, I really hope that he's able to come out of the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber with the WWE title, because otherwise
Wade Barrett.
this has been all for nothing, and this was all at the hands of Kane. He put himself in the contenders match, he won the contenders match, and that's what subjected him to the situation that he's now going through.
Here we go again.
It's not looking good. It's really not looking good. 2 wastelands on Kane,
Into the cover, hooks the leg. One, two.
and there you go.
Barrett wins.
They might be a member short, but the Nexus have claimed their first piece of championship gold. That's pretty big.
A lot of aggression there. That was just a one-sided.
Well, Wade Barrett has come out of this one with the United States Championship at the expense of David Otunga. The Nexus, Justin Gabriel and Wade Barrett, have claimed their first piece of championship gold. They plan a full takeover of Raw, and this is only the beginning. Wade Barrett may be heading into WrestleMania with the United States Championship round his waist. I don't think there's anything that can stop him at this point. Alright, main event time on Raw. We've seen Evan Bourne and Kane both unfortunately on the losing end of matches just 6 days before the Elimination Chamber, where they'll compete for the WWE Championship. But now we see the final 4 participants in the Elimination Chamber match facing off in a tag team match. Jack Swagger is going to partner up with Batista for the first time ever, and they are going to face off against the team of D-Generation X. Team that Swagger already holds a victory over. Last time we saw Batista last week in the Raw main event, that was like nothing we'd seen before. I think we pretty much solidified who stands the best chance of coming out of the Elimination Chamber with the WWE Championship. That was a fearsome, incredible, memorable moment to say the least. Batista laid waste to Triple H in that tag team match. I think it's safe to say, of all the people that are prepared for the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber, I'd put Batista above the champion Triple H himself, considering that's who he destroyed. However, tonight on Raw, I don't know how well him and Swagger are going to be able to coexist, and that might be their downfall for this one. If we do see a loss on Batista's end, I think it might just be simply because those two couldn't work together. I guess we'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of solidarity between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, but it's got to kind of linger in the back of Shawn Michaels' mind that he wants to be the top dog on Raw, but his best friend is currently the top dog on Raw. And it's also got to dwell in his mind that these two have faced off for the WWE Championship, and when they did, Triple H beat him in all of about 3 minutes. That's got to sting, and that's definitely got to stick with Michaels. I don't think he'll have just forgotten about that. However he may be playing it off. But nonetheless, that WWE Championship match comes up this Sunday, and who knows if this team will make it through that one with their friendship intact, with their team intact. This is only their second time ever teaming together. Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that they were the, that Triple H was the WWE Champion, I'd say this is probably a most likely team to defeat the Celtic Cross. Because you're looking at an A-list top-tier team in DX. But I don't see them going for the World Tag Team Championships together anytime soon, considering this isn't even the first time they've faced off for the WWE Championship against each other. Just amazed that their friendship has been able to survive fighting each other. Batista started this off in a pretty unfavorable way. You gotta realize that when you're teaming with an egotist like Jack Swagger, you may not ever enter this match. I stand corrected.
Batista squeezing down on the head.
And this is where things can get from bad to worse for everyone involved. Except for Batista, of course. There's one thing that I think DX will have really wanted. It's for Batista not to have become the legal man. Although, I suppose, yes, that does give Triple H the opportunity at revenge after being stood up and, quite frankly, destroyed by Batista last week on Raw. You can expect nothing but animosity between these two, really.
These are great competitors, great, tremendous gladiators here at WWE.
Really not surprising to see that Triple H would go so hardball at trying to keep Batista grounded, trying to hurt him as bad as physically possible. That's where the issues lie. That's what's been caused. Triple H doesn't like to be stood up. Jack Swagger would know that firsthand. This is Swagger's second opportunity at the WWE title this Sunday. His last one at TLC. Honestly, an incredible performance by Jack Swagger. A lot of people, I think, had their doubts about Swagger and if he could ever win the world title, but I think those have kind of been wiped out. I think everyone kind of believes in Jack Swagger that little bit more now, I'd like to say.
And the sound of human flesh on the ground echoes around the arena. Batista controlling the head. He's taking out the trash.
Shawn Michaels quickly dazing Batista for a moment. I think that, yeah, that worked. It lasted just long enough. How convenient. I say I'm surprised to see that. You'd think that Batista and Triple H would remain toe-to-toe with each other the whole time after being tagged in. Batista even just considered tagging in Swagger. I mean, he changed his mind, but he went to. Michaels has got one thing that I don't think Batista's quite as used to, and that's agility. I believe Batista's only ever suffered one loss, and technically that loss can be weighed in as not even a real loss depending on how you view it. That's the WWE Championship Scramble match.
What an incredible main event this has been. And he has to make a tag to his fresh partner.
Swagger begging for it.
Oh, wow. And he ducks it. Michaels may have waited too long there. Will that mistake cost HBK the match?
No? Okay.
Again, this is our main event of the evening.
Just trying to do a sweet chin music, man. Didn't realize that was so criminal.
Oh, what a suplex! This guy has strength, that's for sure. And here comes his partner. He might have to do this by
Well, this could really help. Triple H hasn't exactly been a stranger to pinning Swagger, I guess. It may not be quite a victory over Batista directly, but it could be a way for DX to get their first win and for Triple H to get that bit of momentum. But Batista was able to break that one up. I'm really looking forward to the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. I think it's going to be something off the charts. Shawn Michaels is quite the stranger to victory. If you look at his win-loss record, I believe he's not actually on the favorable side of things. More losses than wins. That was a very dramatic noise, Swagger. I know that was you.
The most decorated superstar in WWE history. The injury to Shawn Michaels' back has been well documented, and that back has been heavily targeted in this match. And the raw emotion is just pouring out of Shawn Michaels.
I always think that Michaels has springboards, and I'm always surprised when he doesn't. I know he does outside dives, but I just forget that he doesn't do springboards.
Press, and now a flurry of punches. Oh. Look at this.
Oh, classic Swagger.
So hard to outmaneuver that young man.
Not looking good for Michaels. That is also classic Swagger to do it right in the face of Triple H, right in the corner of DX.
NCAA record with 30 pins in one season. And there are those educated feet. And Swagger blocks it. And there's a stiff clothesline. Look at the eyes of the game.
Trying to provoke Batista. No surprise there.
What a main event this has been thus far. Yeah. The game into the headlock. What a vicious chop. Jack Swagger goes behind.
The rivalry of Jack Swagger and Triple H, honestly, I feel like that's been WrestleMania worthy. It's just kind of gone on.
Triple H. And the game hits the spine buster. It is more damage to the abdomen.
I think we're about to see another notch in it here. Depends on if Swagger's able to get out. Yeah, he is. Nice Samoan drop reversal. I really wasn't expecting that time.
Elbow connects again.
Even Michaels obviously expected that one to be the end. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. What's he coming out for? I hope this is over.
I suppose this was to be expected.
See this, I just can't get used to it.
Jack Swagger's buddy William Regal coming out.
Triple H. Oh, the game.
The numbers game is now in effect.
He's in there trying to get something going.
This goes from 2-on-2 to 3-on-2.
In the nick of time. And he finally gets out of the ring. And he's
No tag finisher. Who knew?
And he gets the tag. Boy, this has just been pandemonium.
It's all about Hart and Jack Swagger now, it seems. There you go.
He's going for the pin.
Referee's got to go look at William Regal. He's just really got to think about it. He's like, wow, Regal, that is some nice hair you've got.
Jack Swagger.
Where did you get that done? Oh, a crossface.
So this is. We might
Not something you see every day.
Oh, what timing. A few more seconds.
What timing?
And he finally gets out of the ring. Ooh, with Swagger's amateur background, it's so
I feel like Batista is just being wasted right now. Like, he could easily be more involved in this than he is.
that should do it right there. And there's
A lot of missed potential by not tagging him in more, Swagger.
Michaels. And he finally gets out of the ring. Jack Swagger has the arm. Watch it. That was like a freight train.
Jeez.
Now bringing in his partner.
Oh, that was the perfect reversal. What? I don't know. Maybe Batista just wants to preserve himself for the chamber. Maybe he sees the state Swagger's in and he sees it as an opportunity to be, you know, that little bit more in the advantage come Elimination Chamber. Oh, I don't really know why you'd go and do that in their corner, to be fair. It's quite the distance to jump, but elbow drop. Yep, he was able to get it. And if this can connect, DX could get their first tag team victory. There you go. And Swagger landed perfectly in place to get tagged in. Oh my god, I love that. Perfectly landed spot from the Sweet Chin Music to just reach out and tag Batista, who has just wrecked shop in a matter of seconds. But Triple H was there to break it up. My god, what a main event. This is what you can expect in the Elimination Chamber. Minus the friendship, minus the tags. Well, that didn't exactly go to plan, did it, Michaels? I think that this match has kind of fallen apart now.
Oh, what an elbow drop. And he finally
That is such a perfect reversal. Man, Batista is the man.
You're tuned into Monday Night Raw live and in high definition. He thinks he has it. One. And there's the break.
Obviously, pinning him right in front of Triple H wasn't a good idea.
And now he's back out on the apron. Right now his head must be screaming in agony. A flying forearm. And now his partner
I don't think that the referee is intended to be in there, but he is.
And Triple H is feeding off the energy in this arena.
The referee's getting beat.
The game squeezing down on the. Oh, the ref just got taken out.
Wait a minute.
Under the ring, but this isn't a no disqualification match. He might be trying to.
Oh! Triple H playing dirty.
Get the 3 count right here. Oh, talk about a timely save.
Thankfully, Swagger was there to break that up. I suppose he knows he can't beat Batista one way, he's got to do it another. At least the thing is now, if he beats Batista in this one, it's a bit of a tainted victory. Whoop.
Triple H is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, but he's not
Guaranteed. I mean, yeah, but it's funny to hear because it's like, well, fucking no shit. He runs the company with his boss.
No, he had the wherewithal to escape.
I mean, he doesn't really. He runs a part of it.
Batista goes down hard. Oh my God.
This is like an insanely grueling main event.
Trouble there.
They're giving it their all, and they've still got to go through this again in 6 days' time.
H. Oh, the King plants his opponent.
If he can just get that pedigree off, might actually see Batista beat Triple H. As I say, admittedly, it'd be a bit tainted now.
Pedigree, the game hits it. One. He breaks.
Oh, the point is you tried, Sean. You tried.
Oh, look at this. And now he's back out on the apron. Oh, and the ref starts to count, and he finally gets out of the ring.
This match is a mess, but in like the best way.
Nasty landing. And the body contorts in an unnatural way. And the taunting continues.
And the taunting continues.
Triple H.
Triple H!
Spinebuster.
Swagger's too busy focusing on his bloody face.
2-2.
And the spine buster gets the job done. But, and I have to say, but, the sledgehammer really, really taints this win for Triple H.
Shawn Michaels and Triple H, D-Generation.
Yes, he pinned Batista. Yes, he got his revenge for last week. but it wasn't in the cleanest, the clearest, or the fairest way. And that is what's going to matter the most in the long run. Nonetheless, DX actually got their win, and they might be celebrating as good buddies right now. But we'll see how close they are this time next week after they've been through the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber, and if either of them even have the championship gold. Let's have a quick look at the news. Let's have a quick look at the ranks. Let's have a little preview of none of the stuff that's happening on ECW, because I've already announced all 3 matches for ECW. But let's have a look at it anyway. What a show. Okay, so news. Kane and Wade Barrett's relationship has gotten even worse, and Triple H and Michael's friendship has gotten even stronger. They're complete opposites right next to each other. Okay, so nothing changed there, nothing changed there. Obviously, Barrett is now the US champion. It says the top contender is Sheamus, and Kane is all the way down at number 5. Interesting that Sheamus has managed to weasel his way back up to the top. Lots of negatives here, but then there would be, because Barrett has just kind of ascended above loads of people. And absolutely no changes there. So really not much of a rankings changing week. That won't be happening. That doesn't make sense and won't be happening. And of course, we know that won't be happening. Although that one actually does make sense, because DiBiase's got a bit of a beef with both of them. So when we come back next time on ECW, we will finish up the ECW Championship Contenders Tournament, which will feature Matt Hardy against Ezekiel Jackson, Shad Gaspard against Goldust, and in the main event, the winner of the first 2 matches facing off one more time against each other in a rare cross-brand matchup, because we don't have shitty wildcard rules in this universe. And the winner of that will then face Yoshitatsu for the ECW Championship at Elimination Chamber. So thank you all for joining me for this episode of ECW. I mean, of Raw even. I'll see you guys on ECW. Bye.